Hello everyone, Rich from PCGamesN here, and did you miss the Civ 6 Gathering Storm Civ reveals? If so, fear not, for we present here a quick and easy rundown of all the new civs in the latest expansion. We've also had a chance to play it, so we've drawn on our own observations so far to offer you some tips for playing each civ. Forward settling is back, people, thanks to Phoenicia. They'll vie with the Maori for a domination win on water-heavy maps thanks to the Kothon, their unique harbour, which gives a whopping 50% extra production to all naval units and settlers. But as Phoenicia, you can also take cities through soft power. Your unique ability means that all coastal cities on the same continent as your capital will always be 100% loyal. On top of this, Dido can move her capital to any city with a Kothon. This means you can settle all over the coast of your starting continent without worrying about your cities flipping, and you can even pressure your neighbours to flip to you by moving your capital next door. You can't do this without Kothons, so be careful about settling inland, but pair it with Governor Amani, grow your cities and chase those golden ages, not that you have much choice about that, and Phoenicia can play an aggressive loyalty game. Dido is also a great choice for a one city challenge. She gets 50% extra production when building any district in the city that contains her government plaza, as well as a bonus trade route for the plaza itself and each of its buildings. Given all of this, you should probably build your government plaza as quickly as possible to take full advantage of it, as it provides a pretty huge boost. Are the likes of Sweden and Canada just a bit too nice for you? Because here are Gathering Storm's warmongers. All the Ottoman siege units are half the usual production cost, which is an astonishing boost that's relevant right throughout the game, but it's especially helpful early on, as catapults are relatively expensive when they come on stream, yet they're a massive help when conquering cities. And since domination is your best victory type by miles, you may as well get started. But if you needed another reason not to wait, meet the Janissary. It's a terrific unique unit, a stronger and cheaper musketman that gets a free promotion, but it will consume a city population unless trained in a city that you've conquered. This means you want to conquer somewhere as soon as possible, stabilise it, and get an industrial zone and an encampment there to crank out Janissaries when the time comes. The Ottomans' other uniques are less essential to conquering the world, but still really helpful for mitigating the pitfalls of trying to do so. Ibrahim is your unique governor, and he can reduce another civ's grievances against you while also nullifying all their loyalty pressure, in case they're trying to flip your shaky recent conquests. The Grand Bazaar, meanwhile, gives you more of whichever strategic resources its local city is already producing, and thus works with your commercial hubs to ensure you can equip and maintain a first-rate army. Sweden are pretty simple to play. In short, they are all about great people. The Swedes get 50 diplomatic favour each time they earn a great person, which is pretty huge, so get competing for as many different great people as possible and you will be a strong contender for the diplomatic victory. You also get bonus scientist and engineer points from universities and factories respectively, so you especially want to build campuses and industrial zones. In the grand scheme of things, it's a pretty small boost to the science victory, but if no one else is contesting it, could be enough to give you the win. Sweden's biggest advantage, though, is probably in the cultural victory. Under Christina, you get automatic theming bonuses when filling 3-slot buildings or 2-slot wonders with great works, so get as many slots as you can and fill them with whatever crap you fancy. The Open Air Museum is your unique improvement. It gives bonus culture and tourism for each different terrain type on which a Swedish city has been settled. It feels a little bit strange to play a cultural civ and be nudged to expand into weird places in this way when generally the playstyle is to foster a small local core of strong cities. The Open Air Museum does provide bonus loyalty though, so far-flung, isolated cities off in the snow or the tundra will at least become more resistant to flipping. Mali are weird. In Civ 6, that is. Arguably, your prime source of production outside of industrial zones, the mine, will give you less production, but more gold. Your unique unit, the Mandulaku Cavalry, gets more gold from kills, and will protect nearby traders, which give you gold, from being pillaged. Trade routes also give you more gold for each desert tile in the origin city, which is huge since you're going to start in the desert. And you get an extra trade route, which gives you gold, in a golden age. And your unique commercial hub, the Suguba, gets better adjacency bonuses from rivers and from holy sites, which again means more gold. It should be obvious at this point that Mali can get stupidly rich. Add this to the fact that the Suguba discounts both gold and faith purchases, and you should probably expect to just buy most of your empire rather than build it. You could use Governor Magnus to bolster your production, but I say just pick up what Firaxis is putting down and get as rich as possible. Build a Suguba and or a harbour in every city. Trade with everyone and everything. Pick policy cards that bolster your trade routes and promote Reina, the financier, as quickly as you can. In fact, you should probably spend all your governor titles on her until she lets you outright buy districts. Do all of this well and you can certainly buy an army for a domination victory, which is probably simpler than tackling the production and research hurdle of the space race. But don't let the shameless pursuit of material wealth corrupt your spiritual side. Remember that desert tiles don't just mean bonus trade route gold, they also give bonus food and faith. And the Suguba will discount faith purchases and benefit from stronger holy site adjacencies. You can create a religion to pursue the religious victory, sure, but adopting beliefs that let you purchase more things with faith will mean that you have not one but two abundant currencies with which to buy stuff. So if someone else is contesting the religious victory, that's fine. Buy a massive army of mercenaries and zealots and go get the domination win instead. It's probably simpler than tackling the production and research hurdle of the space race, but hey, there's not much in this game that money can't buy. The Inca are Gathering Storm's builders and boomers, but only if you settle near mountains. Their domestic trade routes get +1 food for every mountain in the origin city, but remember it's also the origin city that gets the food and production from a domestic trade route. This means that you need money to make the most of the Inca's bonuses. Use terrace farms to grow your first few cities despite the hilly terrain that you will start in, research currency ASAP, and set up some commercial hubs with markets, since you'll want them for the trade route capacity they give anyway. Now, when you found another city, buy as many mountain tiles as you can afford and send a trade route to your capital. Then just sit back and watch it flourish. The Inca can even work the mountains that you've just bought. They provide 2 production +1 food for each adjacent terrace farm. You do still need mines, so don't spam terrace farms, but it's probably worth it if you can get at least 3 around a single mountain tile. So get rich quickly and maximize your uniques in the early game, and you can build a core of powerful cities that can pursue any victory type. If you fancy a cheeky bit of conquering, however, the Inca's Warok Ok is a lot deadlier than you might think for a recon unit. It has the same ranged attack as a crossbowman, and can shoot twice if it still has movement points, of which it has 3. If you get the ambush promotion, you'll obviate its only weakness of a pretty squishy melee attack. For this reason, a rogue play with the Incas is to build several scouts and, for once, take the survey social policy in the early game to train them up faster. Upgrade them to Warok Oks in the medieval period, and you've then got a pretty nasty army. Scotland's tyrannical reign over the prestigious, most stereotypically apt Unique Improvement Award is at an end, as Canada in Civ 6, much as in real life, is built around the ice hockey rink. This key improvement gets culture from adjacent snow and tundra tiles, while researching flight adds tourism and professional sports adds production and food. It can only be built once per city and only in tundra or snow, but under Wilfrid Laurier, Canada can build farms in tundra, which can offset any growth issues you might be having. That said, you'll still want to nurture your cities as much as possible if you're going for a cultural win, so sending domestic trade routes to a breadbasket city in a more fertile climate is a sensible play. Your unique unit, the Mountie, can establish national parks if you need a late game push. But if someone else is contesting the cultural victory, Canada can quite easily pivot to the diplomatic victory. Your unique ability gets you 1 diplomatic favour for every 100 tourism. It's a trickle for most of the game, but will become a flood by the time those crucial world leader votes are taking place. You also get double favour from successfully completing emergencies or competitions, so get involved in as many of them as you can. And as if you needed further encouragement to talk rather than fight, you can't declare war on city-states or surprise wars on other civs. Although, because you're so nice, you can't be targeted by a surprise war either. What will Dido do if she's your neighbour, eh? The Maori are conservationists. You get extra production from woods and rainforests as long as you leave them alone, while your amphitheatre replacement, the Maori, gets you bonus culture and faith from nearby tiles that have passable features, such as woods and rainforests. When you research flight, the Maori generates tourism from those features as well. These uniques can mean an awesome early game, but only as long as you can claim enough land, and can supply enough citizens to work all the tiles. This means that the Maori aren't actually as strong on archipelagos as you might think, and that you should focus firmly on growth and expansion. Get money to purchase land and domestic trade routes to grow your cities from harbours and commercial hubs. Obviously, you'll also want lots of theatre squares for cultural border growth, especially since you want the Maori, and you'll be chasing the cultural victory anyway. On that point though, do note that you can't ever generate great writers, and that the Maori has no slots for great works. At all. You can still make art, music and archaeological digs, and you can also use your early production boost to get some wonders, but most of your tourism will probably come from national parks and seaside resorts. This being the case, flight and radio are crucial technologies for you, so don't let science fall behind. In a further twist to the early game, the Maori under Kupe begin at sea, with the sailing and shipbuilding techs, and the ability to cross oceans. You get bonus science and culture until you found your first city, at which point you get a free builder, as well as extra population, housing and amenities, so you can take a few extra turns to find an ideal site for your first city. But I wouldn't wait too long. You need to grow quickly to take full advantage of all your uniques. So the Maori are fun and can potentially dominate the culture race if played well, but they are one of the weirder civs and tricky to use to their fullest. Hungary's unique ability is situational but potentially pretty powerful. You can build districts and buildings faster if you do so across a river from your city centre. So find a river with a really acute meander, settle inside it, and you'll enjoy some really powerful districts for the rest of the game. Do take note of any floodplains you see though, and build a dam if that's what you need to do to avoid flood damage. Your unique building, the thermal bath, adds amenities and production to every city centre in its range. Add this to those awesome districts and Hungary can become a powerful tall civ, able to develop booming cities that can pursue almost any victory. If you have a geothermal fissure in your borders, the bath gets tourism, which may be the inducement needed to shoot for a cultural victory. Under Matthias though, Hungary takes on a martial edge. He grants extra movement and strength to levied city-state units and makes it totally free to upgrade them. Even better, he gets 2 envoys with that city-state every time you levy their military, meaning that you're much less likely to lose control of your levies if someone else takes suzerainty of that city-state from you. Levies last 30 turns in Civ 6, which is a good chunk of time, so with a bit of planning, Hungary can be a deadly domination pick. When you've identified your next victim, you'll want to do everything you can to win over a city-state nearby. Send Governor Amani there, complete their quests, and pick envoy-based policies. Do a lot of scouting to identify city-states all over the world and start buttering them up nice and early. If you're planning on trying this, you'll want to ensure that some of your riverborne districts are commercial hubs, so you have the gold to afford to levy militaries in the first place, and others are campuses, so you have the science to upgrade your levies to a competitive level. And there we are, a quick roundup of all 8 civs that are coming to Civilization 6 in the Gathering Storm expansion, and some initial thoughts just to get you started about how you might like to approach playing them. Give us a like if you found that helpful or interesting, we certainly hope you did. Subscribe to PCGamesN for plenty more PC gaming content and civ content on our channel, and until we see you next time, thanks very much for watching and take care.